And the Dow's up only 10 points, but the indices up overall. My name's Dez, here at Grok Trade. It's Thursday, May 22nd, 2014. Taking a look here at the broad markets. Everybody in bullish territory, with the Russells leading the charge to the upside, up nearly 1%, over a 0.5% rise here on the NASDAQ, leading the charge to the upside with the banks up 0.44%, doing better than the S&P and Dow. VIX, though, up 1%. What's interesting here is the VIX is the volatility fear indicator. So this is a big time indicator to the fear that's out there. The fear has increased by 1%, even with the markets being bullish. Just remember this as we get into the charts. Gold up about 0.25%, silver up almost 0.5%, crude oil break even, US dollar up a bit, up 0.12%, but the markets were still bullish. Interesting. Transportation index doing quite a bit better than the Dow, up 0.5%, with the utilities defensive sector up 0.8%. And going over here, taking a look at the S&P 500, you'll see that we did make a higher high, higher low. We are above all major moving averages right now. Bouncing off this support line yesterday, we have continued that momentum to the upside. We do have resistance coming up, and I'm going to call that resistance right around 1900, just a little less than that. I would say 1899 would be our next area of resistance, so be watching that for sure. If I were to bring a line right here, just a vertical horizontal line, or a horizontal line, straight horizontal line, we're going to have resistance at 1897, and 1899 area. And I mean, we have a little bit of resistance here. Now, if we go to the Dow, we popped up, but we're going to have resistance coming across right here at 16,578, 79, or 80. So right here in this area, we do have resistance. If you take a look here at the NASDAQ, we touched resistance and we pulled back from that. So we went from this swing high to this swing high, and I need to actually tighten that up a little bit. I want this to be dead on. Resistance, resistance, resistance. We hit it and pulled back. We are above the 50-day moving average on the NASDAQ, still below the 100-day moving average, and we do have this resistance point, which is virtually today's high on the NASDAQ. So that's 4164. I would say 4165. 4165 is being a resistance area for tomorrow. The Russells, which are the small caps, we touched resistance and pulled right back from it, closing at the falling 20-day moving average. We are in a falling wedge. That falling wedge, if you look here at the MACD, we do have a bullish divergence on the MACD centered oscillator. We are looking to break out at some point here, but we're at resistance. There's no reason why it should break out tomorrow. This could certainly pull right back down. I think we have a much better chance of showing a little bit of strength starting out the day tomorrow and then pulling back. Now what's really interesting, if I'm going to bring in the S&P weekly chart, I want you guys, we have a bunch of mentor students, and we did our study group. We do this free education for all the mentor students, and one of them was our class, and we observed this on the weekly chart. If you go higher, if you go back a couple weeks here, this going back to beginning of April or so, for this week we closed at 1881. The next week we closed at 1878, so we're right there in the same area. The very next week, which was last week, we closed at 1878, right here again. So we're just basing with these big shadows going up and down, but we keep closing right there. This week, right now, we're at 1892. What are the chances that tomorrow's going to be a big bearish day and pull it right back down to this 1880 area? I think that there's a decent chance of that. So if the weekly chart were to go back down here and join the last 3 weeks on the closing areas and where this resistance was and now acting as support, if that were to happen, that means the daily chart on the S&P 500 is going to be a big, nasty big nasty red candlestick right here. That big red nasty candlestick, chances are it will be below this trend line. So tomorrow is a huge day in the markets. If we do pull back right there, the market's going to remain in this choppy land. However, if we can stay strong tomorrow, you might have a lot of people, a lot of bears buying to cover, a lot of bulls buying to enter, and you could have a sizable, on the weekly chart, a sizable run, maybe getting as high as last week's high. So tomorrow is just a really big day in the markets, and I'm watching that like a hawk. Apple, we closed over a trend line on the weekly chart, so it's not closed yet. So tomorrow, again, Apple is telling me on the weekly chart it could certainly come back and close below this. That means the markets would probably have to be bearish for that to happen. Here's Apple daily, continues to go higher. Amazon break even, a doji after a run up, so be looking for a pullback. Facebook showing resistance or weakness at a 50-day moving average resistance. Google just up and away. And by the way, I'm holding some of these now, just like we said yesterday. We looked at LinkedIn, said that's probably a buy now that it broke over this trend line today. Boom, to the upside. I mean, we are up over 2%. Not even the small cap Russells was up 1%. So this beat the markets by at least 100% move. I mean, just a big move because it cracked yesterday, and we called it. We are all on that. Now, what's interesting is we said Microsoft was breaking out, but it came right back. Look at that. No follow through at all. Kind of a bad sign for Microsoft. Netflix, now we have it's kind of evening star, kind of a spinning top reversal pattern. So look for a drop in Netflix. Twitter has dropped again, but you'll see we have a spinning top reversal pattern. We started to go higher, started to go lower. Remember, we drew these two lines and we just spanned those two lines perfectly, looking for a breakout fairly soon. And class is tonight. We're going to be doing a class tonight on Trading Foundation. Click this. You can join us. Just click the link right here. And it's at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And if you click on this link, that you can RSVP. We're going to talk about why trading is not gambling. We're going to talk about the best trading vehicles, why ETFs are better than mutual funds. With good stuff in this program. Best trading time frames to use when trading. If you're a swing trader or day trader, best time frames. There's just a ton of stuff here. This is a great program. I think you guys will like it. Go to the website, do that. We also sent out an email yesterday, so if you're on our list, you did receive an email. Click that. Either way, hope to see you this evening. Good stuff to come. Take care.